Streaming in, my name's Dez Brown, and I'm the CEO of Spark to Life, which is the charity that I run is called Green, but the project that I founded is called Spark to Life. It stands for Sharing Positive and Relevant Keys to Life. Now, if you are tuning in, you are here today for me to do a live webinar. It's the third one, and I have the privilege of being able to communicate to all those that are listening. I will be speaking for about 20 minutes, and then there's an opportunity for you to ask questions that will be sent through to myself, and hopefully I'll answer them well as I can. So if it's your first time, welcome. If you've joined us before, again, it's good to have you back. So just a little bit about myself and why they've asked me to speak. As I mentioned, I am the project director of Spark to Life, and what kind of inspired me to kind of start this project is in 2006 is when it started, but just a little bit about my background. Basically, I got involved in serious youth violence when I was involved in street robbery, also violence, burglary, selling drugs, taking drugs, and sadly at the age of 17 I took somebody's life. So in many ways I've gone through, as a perpetrator, the criminal justice system, and what challenged my kind of moral compass for me at the age of 18 was faith, and it just kind of took me on the trajectory, and later in life I actually became an ordained minister. I've also worked in ISIS prison as a chaplain, albeit one day a week, for a year, just to really see whether it was a vocational call. But in the midst of all of that, I wanted to continue to develop Spark, which I started when I was a youth pastor. I worked with about 80 to 100 young people. And in doing that, I really had a heart to work with individuals that were caught up in the criminal justice system. So I've been going to prison, various different prisons across London for over 20 years. Also, I'm an author of a book called Convicted or Condemned, and it talks about my life story. It's been used in school, got into many prisons, has been read by a lot of people in the criminal justice system. Now, I share all of that really because now I kind of work very much as not part of the problem, but part of the solution. And even for me to actually end up working in prison, getting keys in the prison, I remember a chaplain advocated for over 2 years for me to be considered to be cleared to work in the prison. And it's really important as we're working with young people, we never really know what they can become, even those that have, in many ways, presented massive challenges in our societies, that our past is not our future. And I've been privileged enough to pioneer this project. We now work across 4 boroughs, Waltham Forest being the borough where I now live, and also our project is based. And we work with outreach, working in the community as a detached team, going out, working with individuals in hotspots, building relationships so that our kind of response and our connection with people, especially those that may be involved in levels of criminal activity, it's not a reactive response, it's a relational response. I'm passionate about that, and also we advocate for those that we work with and really believe trying to give them a voice in multi-agency teams, so we get contracted by community safety. We work in reach with individuals that are in prison and that have been in prison for over, for a long period of time, but usually 3 months before they come out, we'll get a referral from probation or from the youth offending team, and we'll go into prisons and build up that relationship with them. And is around emotional intelligence, paradigm shifting scenarios. So it's about how they think, the critical thinking, also about how they see aspects of not only their life but society, and trying to positively help them just see themselves in a constructive light, but also maybe what they've gone through for it not to overly damage them. I'll talk a little bit about that later. We also work in schools within this borough and beyond in pupil referral units. We do group mentoring. So a lot of what we do is high-level case, and we work in Havering, Barking and Dagenham. We're now going to be part of an integrated gangs unit. There's going to be very much a trauma-informed approach, which again, mentioning a little bit about in a short while. We work with is 10 years old up to the age of 25. And it's very much about looking at employment, training, education, looking at high-level mentoring. It's about building for us a relationship and journeying with them. So it's not just about giving them a bus pass or a train permit or an interview time for them to go there on their own. We'll go with them. We wanted to get some wins early on. We really believe in just seeing the possibility of them having positive outcomes, how that can benefit them moving forward, and our continual support, not only them, but when invited to members of the family, just trying to get in their world in a way that's positive, consistent, and constructive. Now, a lot of this is directed by probation, YOS. Sometimes we'll get referral from the police. We're not there to enforce, to engage, and we're there to advocate. So we'll be that voice for those individuals that may not be in that multidisciplinary meeting, but we'll be there based on our relationship with them to advocate what we would see as being a constructive way forward, even if they're a perpetrator or a victim, and look at what's going to help in the area of rehabilitation. So we do this in various different facets, as I've shared, and like I said, in pupil referral units in schools. I myself started off delivering my program in its formative stages in schools, and it was around group mentoring, various different sessions I would deliver. So that's the kind of work that we do in various different boroughs across London. And so I come here today with that lens. I come here today with that experience. I know what it's like, the trauma that one's decision can have on a family. I myself had to move out of my home. I got moved to another area, partly because, one, the hostility that was in the community where my incident happened, and also for my own safety in many ways as a teenager. And I saw that my selfish decisions, issues around my identity, how I saw myself, really had a big impact on those choices I was making. Now, I came from quite a stable background, and there's been a lot of discussions recently around a kind of trauma-informed approach and how can we help young people build resilience. So just a few thoughts around that. I think one of the things around the sector, and some of you as professionals or those that work with young people may have heard adverse childhood experiences and what adverse childhood experiences are. And it's just looking at what young people are brought up in. So some of the kind of adverse childhood experiences are that there's 10 that they've looked at as a kind of evidence-based theory. Some of it is around abuse. So you're looking at physical, emotional, and sexual abuse that someone may experience in their kind of developmental years. You're looking at things like neglect, so that's physical or emotional neglect. And then you're looking at, I'm sorry about that, as I'm sure you're fully aware, it cut out for a while. I'll just kind of backtrack. So I was talking about adverse childhood experiences, and I mentioned that there's 10 of them. Research says that if any child has more than 4, that gives a kind of a probability that there's various times more likely that they'll experience different things. So if someone has more than 4, they'll say they're 4 times more likely to experience depression, 15 times more likely to feel suicidal, and 10 times more likely to commit a violent offence before the age of 18. Now, there's various different health issues as well that kind of come in with that. And so what we're looking at, that this is a massive health issue for the young generation, that, you know, when somebody goes through trauma, they're realising that it affects the neurological pathways in their brain. And it's more about someone's experience around fight, flight, or freeze. And so most of us, as we're kind of developing in life, we may have where we're confronted with a situation and our own experience of fight, flight, or freeze would be quite natural in regards to, we know whether we're scared of something, whether something, you know, causes us to leave, we're not comfortable with it. But if that experience is triggered multiple times, it can affect someone's ability to be able to process conflict. So when they hear certain noise or they experience a certain confrontation, because that kind of been triggered, it can affect the way that they respond to it. And what they would call, this can create what they call toxic stress. Toxic stress is, we all deal with stress in different ways, but when we experience stress and we haven't got that support network, or we haven't got somebody to help us through that process, or, the stress that we're feeling, we haven't got an outlet to be able to deal with that, it can have a massive negative effect on an individual. And so there's done quite a lot of research for those that are in pupil referral units, for those that are in prison, and I can't give you the stats, but I can tell you that they are high. For those that are in pupil referral units or are in prison, they've gone through and experienced a lot of adverse childhood experiences. So this is what the sector is now looking at. It doesn't condone somebody's action, but it looks at what somebody may find themselves in a situation that as a child, and just putting that out there, that they're not young adults, they are children. We have a responsibility and a duty of care to not only protect them, but to help them. So sometimes we focus more on what they have done, not on why they've done it. And I think the shift in the sector now is looking at, okay, why are the young people across our city or cities across the country, why is there such an increase in various youth violence specifically? And there's various different things that people will talk about. They'll talk about things to do with whether it's music, they'll talk about things to do with whether it's kind of social media, and adverse childhood experiences needs to be central to that. I do feel that sometimes some of the things we talk about are not necessarily the cause, but they're symptoms. So when we start looking at things like music, that's a symptom. And what I would say is that often when people are involved in music, and I'm training as we speak to be a counsellor in person-centred therapy and Gestalt, that often issues around self-concept and conditions of worth are quite important, because I do feel that a lot of people are working through who are they, and also where do they get their conditions of worth from. We live in a society now where a lot of our worth is found or affirmed externally. So people will look at how many likes do they get on their kind of Snapchat, or how many people following them, or what's their their Instagram status, etc., etc. This is very much about how am I received in everybody else's eyes. And that can affect or create a sense of an ideal self, but not knowing who the real self is. So I really feel that as professionals, we have a duty of care to help our young people build resilience. Now, what would that look like? Again, I think for me, it looks at how can I help a young person know who they are, and how can I help them journey through issues around conditions of worth, that they are accepted as they are, issues around behavior, look at what they're doing, and hence we look at the cause, but also look at building resilience. Have they got individuals in their world that can support them? I really do feel with the young people across our city, one of the big things is relationship. There's a lot of studies that have been done, especially when you look at kind of from a therapeutic point of view, that regardless of the therapy, whether it's person-centered, whether it's CBT, whether it's psychodynamics, which are the various schools of thought and the theories that come with working with people, one of the common denominators that doesn't distinguish on what school of thought, but is central to someone changing, is a trusted relationship. And so I feel that as professionals, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a youth worker, whether you're a faith leader, whoever you are, building a consistent, trustworthy relationship with a young person is important. Now, with that, I think that takes a lot of commitment, a lot of kind of personal self-awareness, which is really important. Because I think we can only give what we've got, and we can't, as much as we'd want to rescue everybody, sometimes rescuing them doesn't help, because it can create a codependency. What we need to be able to do is empower them, and that can take time. I just want to commend and salute all those in the professional field that are doing the best that they can, but feel like they need to be resourced or supported themselves. That's really important. Hence, if you're working with individuals that are complex, that are challenging, I think self-care as a professional is important. And we may need to look at structures around clinical supervision for us ourselves, so that we can be the best who we are to help those young people that we're working with. I think some of the issues, the early signs that can come up if you are somebody that's working with young people, you could be a parent yourself, and I'm a parent of 4 children, most of which have now journeyed through the teenage years. And some of the things you can be looking at, especially if you work with individuals that may be associated or affiliated with activity, stroke gangs, which can be written in toxic terms, which is to be where we and how we brandish that about. But, is the young person, and I know some of this you already know, are they coming home? You can look at things like, the kind of self-care. You could also look at things like, are they wearing or always having new clothes? And where are they getting that from? I think you can be mindful they are hanging around with. Doesn't mean a group is a gang. It doesn't mean that a group of people, and we've got to be very mindful that, living in London, that you don't have to go far before you could find yourself in a context or associated with people that may be involved in lifestyle choices that children are, but they're associated with them because they're their friends. And so it's about building that capacity in our young people to make the right choices. All of this is easier said than done, but prevention is better than cure. So if you're in primary schools, again, this stuff really needs to be flagged up, creating a safe space for people to talk about how they're feeling. So just coming back to something I referred to earlier, which was drill music, and a lot's been talked about that. For me, that's about emotional literacy. Being involved in some kind of therapeutic training, I'm fully aware that a lot of people, and being a bit stereotypical, but I think there's evidence-based to support what I'm going to say, a lot of males would not necessarily sit down and go through therapy. But what they may do is you put a mic in their hand, you put a beat, they will do their music. And in doing their music, they will tell you how they're feeling, what they're thinking, and how they see the world through their lens. And I think this is a great opportunity to use this as a point of discussion. Now, I'm going to promote music, I'm not going to put it out there on the airwaves, I'm going to try and discourage them from doing so, especially if it's negative. But the truth is there will be language in may not sit comfortably with me. There could be stuff around, derogatory terms, there could be homophobic terms, but all of this, in whatever way we see it, I don't think shutting it down in its totality will help. We need to use it to create a conversation, because these are the things people are thinking, feeling, and this is how they're seeing the world that they're in. And so what I would use that as a basis of is whether it's a group discussion, group support, what kind of music you're listening to, what does that mean? Having that conversation, what is it that you're communicating through the lyrics that you've written? Just using that as an example. And so, hopefully this is just giving you a flavour and an overview of, not only what I'm doing, but also how I feel we can offer a level of intervention support. There are some diversionary things that can go on. I mean, I think there's a lot of evidence to say if somebody's involved in something that's constructive, whether that's, an extracurricular activity, which I know can be hard with various different cuts, if things cost. But all these things can add value to people being in what I would call a healthy space. One of which is if someone's not in a healthy space and their relationships aren't constructive and it's not healthy, instead of telling them repeatedly, don't hang around with that person, what I often say is, well, I'm not going to tell you not to hang around with those people. You know my views on that already. But what I would say is creating different friendship circles. Because often when people are challenged about certain lifestyle choices they're making, who they're hanging around, where they're going, if they just stop doing that, they have nothing else to do. So I always think transition is better than just stopping something abruptly and asking someone to find out. And that transition is, well, why don't you just have other circles of friends, or why don't you have another interest? So, you may be doing what you're doing, but let's see if we can create another space that's constructive and positive for them to spend time in, for them to build new friends, for them to build new connections, for them to build new interests, with a view that hopefully that can be part of the discussion in regards to moving away from the things that aren't positive, that are negative. Now, I know it's easier said than done, but I'm trying to look at just what one would call kind of mediation, especially if there's conflict. We're looking at a win-win. That the young person feels that they're winning, and that the adult feels that they're winning, and that we're taking them more on a journey, because it's easy to get from 1 to 3 than it is to get from 1 to 10. Let's get to 1 to 3 first, and let's try and negotiate that journey. But that's where support comes in, and that's where kind of obviously understanding comes in, and listening. Now, I've been speaking for a while now. I know there was a little cut-off for a while, and I'll just kind of flag up. This is the book. You should be able to get it on Amazon. If you can't, by all means, contact Spark to Life. As I said, it's convicted or condemned. And it just talks about how somebody can feel convicted about the things that they've done wrong. Doesn't mean they're condemned. And also, you may get a conviction, which I have had, of a serious offence, but it doesn't mean that your past is your future. I really believe that there's a lot of individuals out there that have lived experience. We, in Spark to Life, in the 12 full-time workers we have, we've got about 18 employees plus various different contracts, but in the 12 that we have, 5 of which are ex-offenders. That lived experience, for me, offers that cultural competence. Now, the character, competence, and chemistry is key when you're getting individuals to work with young people that have been involved, or you're trying to deter from being involved in certain negative lifestyle choices. Character is very much about, what kind of person and their value system, the kind of ethos, what they see as right and wrong. When you look at competence, can they do the job? And when you look at chemistry, how do they get on with other people? One thing I've learned in this world is that you can train somebody competence, but you can't train character or chemistry. And I think we need to look more at people's kind of character and chemistry, because we can teach them competence. And that's how we operate within Spark to Life. So, I'm understanding, I'm just looking here, first time I've done this, at questions here on the right. I'm just going to quickly read a few. I'm assuming the ones at the bottom have come in last, the ones at the top has come in, the ones at the top the first one's come. Do you think cuts in youth clubs, etc., are partly responsible for the recent spate in knife crime? I think to say it's solely responsible would probably be slightly naive, but to say it has an impact, yes, because I think what youth provision or youth clubs would do, it would definitely create safe spaces if they're managed well for young people to go. I think it would also create opportunities to discuss with cohorts of young people, regardless of whether they're directly or indirectly involved, an opportunity to talk about some of the issues that they're facing in their community. And I think, yes, I think it has had an impact. To what degree, I couldn't say, but yeah, I think it does. So do you think it is the role of the teacher to deal with mental health issues of pupils? No, I don't think it is the role of the teacher. I think teachers and working with various different professionals, even at senior level, they're under great pressure to, in some ways, become all things to people. Now, when they went to study education, they studied to be a teacher. And sometimes they're put into a context where actually they're now being asked to kind of manage various different things, one of which is mental health. I think they need to be able to signpost, which means there need to be services around that can help these teachers and support these teachers, but ultimately refer these children into. Now, that's when cuts are there, that creates a problem. What I would suggest, though, is having somebody in the school who's not just a teacher, but understands mental health. So that whoever's making that decision isn't making that decision, especially if the services are limited, they're making that decision with informed and understanding. But yeah, teachers definitely need people that know about mental health. It'd be great to have somebody on staff, who's either been a social worker or worked in mental health. That would be great, but they shouldn't be there to deal with the mental health issues. What is the most successful diversion tactic you have seen for 14-year-old boys? This sounds a little bit cheesy, and it's not going to be something, wow, I've never heard of that before. I think relationships are really powerful. And I don't mean relationship, I see you once a week for an hour. People don't care how much you know, they want to know how much you care. And that means being there. And I've worked with many people over the years, some of which don't change when they're 14, when they're 15, when they're 16. I had a young chap who's 30 years old come and see me even this week, literally, and I'm not making this up because it's fresh, just to say thank you. Now, when I was a youth leader and I was working with him, we had to address some issues that he wasn't too happy with. I kind of, as much as I could support him, encourage him, but challenged him. And for various reasons, he kind of moved away from the youth program. But he's doing work now actually with young people. And said everything he's doing was based on what we as a youth profession taught him. Because we was there, I've had other people that I've worked in pupil referral units, sadly, they've made wrong decisions, gone in prison, they've come out and they see me and they said, you know, when I was inside, I kept remembering what we used to talk about. I give them a card, we support them, we help them, because people need to come back and go back to where they feel safe and where they feel valued and where they're not going to be judged or condemned, but they're going to be encouraged and supported. They talk about emotional intelligence. It takes a long time. They say up to the age of 25 sometimes. And emotional intelligence is not only being self-aware, but being aware of how my decisions affect other people. And young people are really kind of working through that and processing that. So relationships are important, especially if they can link them into an activity that they're interested in. And the second teacher in Lambeth, where is the best place to find out about support services available to us? Again, I'm not from Lambeth, so I'll just give a few, what I would say, central points. Obviously, the local authority being one. I know St Giles, if I'm right in thinking, is a service provider that works with young people that are involved in the criminal justice system, and I believe that they're based in Lambeth. I would speak to community safety, and I'd look at the community safety. I think it would be wrong for me to mention names, but I do know the head of Yacht there. She's a very good lady who's recently moved from Northern Forest to take over Lambeth. Find out the manager of Yacht there in Lambeth and they'll be able to direct you to services, but start there. But what I would say as well is look at services in the community, and these could be faith groups as well, that have been there for years and will be there even when there's cuts. And the reason I say that is a lot of people parachute into it based on funding. There's nothing wrong with that if they're bringing a specific skill set. But in every borough in London, there are 33 boroughs, what you'll find is that there's people there, wind, rain, or shine. And if you can build a connection as a school with those community groups and they can bring added value, when funding cut, they'll still be there. And they'll be there to help and support young people. I know you've got to go through your checks. You've got to make sure that they're there genuinely to support and to serve, not just to kind of promote any agenda. But trust me, there's some good faith groups out there that I think would really bring added value. Will the recent crackdown rhetoric, stop and search, etc., improve matters, in your view? I don't think it will. I think it's more about perception. I think it brings a sense of assurance to the community, and when there's been a serious incident, I think that's important because people need to feel safe, people feel that the police are doing something, but I don't think it's an evidence base that says it actually brings the results that we're looking for. I think it's more of a disruptor, and what I mean by that, there's certain tactics that local authorities, that police will use to disrupt where there seems to be a system in place, a level of I'll use a term, albeit in quotes, gangs that are gathering. If they put CCTV there, if they go down there, they do a section 60 and stop and search, it just disrupts. But often people will just move, they'll get dispersed. So we won't deal with it, but I think it's more of a community and perception. Should parents be engaged with early when initial signs are spotted? Yes, parents should definitely be engaged. I think parents need a lot of support. I think being a parent in this climate can seem quite lonely. And I think there needs to be more services that support parents and not just services that says, I'm going to teach you how to parent. I think it's more about, I want to be there to listen. I want to be there to support. So I think there's a void in the sector, in my opinion, of support groups for parents. And these are parents of children that may be active criminally, or parents of children that have been victims. And I think just having a space where people can talk and people can share, I think can become quite supportive. And I think parents need to be given the opportunity not only to share some of their challenges, but also I think they'll have solutions. And I've realised in working with parents, and obviously being a parent myself, sometimes it's the guilt, it's the shame, it's the emotional pressure, it's I'm running out of ideas and tactics, I've got various different therapies involved, I've spoken to the school, I've spoken to the police, but yet things aren't changing and they can feel like they've failed. And what I want to say, if you're a parent and you're listening, is don't give up, keep supporting, and really, as best as possible, try and love your child through the hard time, because that will build resilience and help build resilience in them. Now, there's a whole kind of discussion in that, so it's a bit of a throw-off statement, but I say that really because a lot of children often, especially if they've got issues around conditions of worth, will feel rejected for a lot of reasons, and they will know that they've let down their parents. Especially mums. And I speak here as a father, but having worked in prison for years, I know that a lot of sons, looking at males specifically, have a lot of love for their mums. Sons have a lot of love for their mums, but I think sometimes mums have it hard. So dads as well, I think they need to be around and definitely supporting. So I'm not taking that away from fathers, being a father with 4 children. Where are we here? Should parents be in jail? Read that one. Will the recent crackdown on rhetoric, I think we've had that one. At what age do we need to start talking to young people about knife crime and other violent crimes in gang culture? School, I think in year 5 and 6 is a good age to start talking about that. But in all fairness, when you start looking at things like violent crime, when you start looking at things like safeguarding issues, I think you can start even earlier. But it's not happened in a direct, have you experienced anything violent? Have you seen anything violent? I think it's more about, creating a context where people, this is children, who may be exposed to various different stresses, and stresses could come in any shape or form. So it could be a parent that's not away, a parent who's away, it could be violence that they've seen, it could be a brother who's in prison, or, a family member, all these different things going on. And again, safeguarding comes into this. So again, this is just more of a throw-out statement. It's a whole thing to unpack. But an opportunity for children to be able to share how are they feeling about their world. Is there things that maybe they feel unhappy about? Is there areas that they feel they would want? And try to create a space for that. That needs, again, children, psychologists. There's something gentle that creates that space where, children go through trauma. Their trauma may not be the same as us. We can articulate what we experience as a parent. But children can't just be left because they can't say it, because, you can't see outwardly what they're having to manage. They're still going through a level of stress. And I think young age, they need that kind of talking therapy in a professional sense. Absolutely. So, with that said, as I said, my name's Dez Brown, part of Spark to Life. You can check us out on the website www.sparktolife.co.uk. See a little bit about what we have got a mentoring program that we teach professionals with, and it's an accredited AQA mentoring program, and it's taught by individuals that have been through either the criminal justice system or have got lived experience, and it covers 7 standalone areas around mentoring. Look at Alfred Adler's inferiority complex, where we're looking at things to do with your family, your friends, and purpose, which again is evidence-based. If these 3 areas are out of sync, often people experience inferiority, which can then exhibit various different challenges. We look at, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and how, when you spin it on its head, it can build resilience, or there's a perspective for resilience. We empower the mentor to know themselves, looking at Johari's window, blind spots, and just so that I'm self-aware, so that I can be best me to help somebody else. So that is London Needs You Alive. Also, please look at the toolkit. If you go onto Google, type in London Needs You Alive toolkit, and there are sessions and lessons on there that, as I'm sure for teachers definitely anyway, and even youth workers, you'll be familiar with the importance of being able to communicate, to connect with young people. What I would say is everyone communicates, but not everybody connects. And I say that to say this, that just make sure that in your delivery, you're aware of the audience that you're communicating with, especially if it's young people. Illustrations, discussions, make sure you're engaging, not informing, and hopefully you'll see, constructive benefit from the London Needs You Alive toolkit. Well, that's Dez. I'm done. Hope you've enjoyed it. And all the best to everyone that's watching. Thank you.